Okay, good morning. Good morning. And welcome to the brand new Willie L. Brown Jr. Middle School. I hate to start with an apology, but my grandmother would admonish me for not being a good host by having a tidy place for you to come to this morning. So I hope that you would please excuse my dust. The dust you stand in today is just a byproduct of the dawn of a new day in San Francisco Unified School District. When we opened the doors of Willie L. Brown Jr. Middle School this fall, 200 pioneering sixth graders will experience the best education that San Francisco can provide. I am honored to serve as the founding principal of Willie L. Brown Jr. Middle School, and I am deeply humbled by the tremendous amount of coordination and support within SFUSD, the commissioners on the Board of Education, the Department of Public Health, the Public Utilities Commission, the Department of Children, Youth, and their families, and all of our corporate partners to provide the resources needed to ensure the success of our school. Between October 2014 and January of 2015, the project manager from SFUSD and myself engaged over 500 families by attending 40 community events, visiting 25 elementary school PTA and PTO meetings, and hosting 7 citywide information and registration sessions. Families applied to Willie Brown Middle School not simply because we have a state-of-the-art brand new building, but because we are offering a longer reading, math, science, and social science class for deeper learning, a STEM-focused hands-on curriculum to introduce and motivate our students to the STEM careers of the future. We are offering a healthcare center to support the development and wellness of the whole child. We are offering social emotional learning to help our students develop and strengthen positive behaviors and habits of mind. Named after Willie L. Brown Jr. to honor his legacy, not only as the first African American mayor of San Francisco, or the first African American speaker of the state's General Assembly, but also as a civil rights attorney who fought to protect and expand the rights of others. Ultimately, our mission at Willie Brown Middle School is to provide the educational experiences that will inspire our students to engage in their own learning, to explore their future options, and to excel in the goals they have in life. And just as our namesake led a life of service, we want our graduates to use their talents to protect and expand the rights of others. Willie L. Brown Jr. Middle School is a welcome place for all, and I welcome you to our event today. Thank you. My job as the MC is to ensure that we have a smooth transition through the dignitaries that are here to honor both the mayor and the school and the families and the communities of Willie Brown Middle School. So next we will have our superintendent, Mr. Richard Carranza.
So good morning, everyone. I can't think of a more auspicious occasion than to be here at the new Willie Brown Jr. Middle School in the heart of the Bayview. And part of the reason why we're so excited, and you're not going to be able to wipe the smiles off of our faces, is that we made a promise to this community several years ago. When we closed the old Willie Brown facility, we made a promise to this community that we would rebuild it like a phoenix. We would rebuild this school, and it would become, and it would be, the premier middle school, not only in Northern California, but in the state of California, perhaps even in the country. And I think that when you look around, although Principal Hobson would be very embarrassed at all the dust, I think the dust is very appropriate, because Willie Brown Jr. Middle School in the future is going to leave everybody in its dust. That's how much we believe in this school. And while he's been very eloquent about talking about what's contained within the middle school, I just want to emphasize a few points. San Francisco has a fully choice enrollment system. And ladies and gentlemen, for this next coming year, when we have 200 spots available at this brand new facility, we received over 365 requests for one of those 200 spots. So we have more requests than we actually had space for. So this school is in demand. The word is out. People want to come to the Willie Brown Jr. Middle School because of what Principal Hobson has talked about, the emphasis on STEM, the emphasis on STEAM, the emphasis on the whole child. When we talk about a full-service community schools approach where the community in the heart of the Bayview will be able to come to this school site, will be able to have services in this school site. The deep partnerships that have sprung to make this a reality. We have the Department of Public Health and Barbara Garcia, who has already pledged that there will be full-time staff members here at this facility. We have people that were first out of the box before anybody even saw what the schematics look like. The Sarah and Evan Williams Foundation came forth and said, we're going to partner with you to create spaces that are open, that are livable, and the food and nutrition will be second to none. And where we know that there are neighborhoods in San Francisco where children don't get access to fresh fruit or vegetables, but for the fresh fruit and vegetables they get out of that corner liquor store, that will not be the case at the Willie Brown Jr. Middle School. This will be a school that looks at the whole child. We're so excited for our sixth graders that will enter and be part of the inaugural class here. As I mentioned, 365 requests for 200 seats, which is phenomenal. But I also want to say that the majority of students that were offered a seat to this school actually live in the Bayview neighborhood. They attend schools in the southeast portion of San Francisco, and nearly 70% are African American students or Latino students. So we are reclaiming an educational spot in the Bayview so that students don't feel they have to go outside of the Bayview for a wonderful education. It's going to happen right here in our neighborhood. I also want to emphasize that 100% of the money to build this 88,000 square foot building came from local GEO bonds that were funded by the citizens of San Francisco. And the citizens of San Francisco do believe in their public schools, and this is your money at work. This is the creation of the future at work. I've already mentioned our incredible partnership with the Sarah and Evan Williams Foundation. I also want to recognize that the Public Utilities Commission has come forward as well to be a strong partner, as well as, of course, our first date in the partnership world, which was Salesforce. Salesforce has also partnered with us. And while I'm not prepared, I'm not authorized today to talk about several other partnerships, all I can say is get ready, because the community is coming forward and we will be announcing a number of other very significant partnerships where the community is wrapping itself around the Willie Brown Jr. Middle School. As much as we're proud of the partnerships, there's still work to do. So one of the things that I wanted to mention, and staff may kill me because I'm going to just put it out there, but while we're building this incredible health center right here in the heart of the Bayview, and the Department of Public Health has agreed to staff it with a nurse practitioner and a dentist and staff, and we're going to be able to serve our community, we still need $500,000 in private funding to actually get the equipment to put into that health community. So we're going to be very unabashedly going out and saying, if you believe, we want you to come here. And Mayor Brown has already started thinking through his Rolodex. Who am I going to come and bring him over here to kind of look at what we're doing here? And that's wonderful. I also want to say just one more thing after the bus passes. Oh, it's a cement truck. I want to end my remarks by just saying this, that when school opens in August of 2015 here at the Willie Brown Jr. Middle School, what you will notice is the most diversified student population in San Francisco's public schools. What you will see walking the halls of this middle school is what San Francisco looks like, what America looks like. And what you will also see is a school that is completely designed to take us to our Vision 2025. So our students have global skills to compete in a global economy. You're going to see music, you're going to see arts, you're going to see science, you're going to see math, you're going to see strong English language arts, you're going to see cultural competency, you're going to see wraparound services, and you're going to see a staff that absolutely loves the kids. They love their content area, but we've been very strategic about people that are going to work here are going to love our kids. So I'm very excited about what you're just starting to see here today. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Principal Hobson for our next speaker. Thank you all for being here.
Next, we will have our families to share their reasons why they applied to and are accepting their position, a seat at Willie Brown Middle School. I have Sophia Silva and her mother, Mrs. Silva.
Hi, my name is Sophia, and I'm in Marshall School, and I accepted the school because it was a STEM school, and I really like science, and that there's going to be a robotics class.
Hi, I'm Sophia's mother, Beatriz Gudino, and I'm really excited as well for my daughter to attend this school, especially because of the introduction to the STEM education. I think it's a great opportunity, especially because my daughter's a girl, female, that she'll get a head start and have greater opportunities in the future for career choices and other things. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and that is extremely important. A part of the work that we are doing at Willie Brown Middle School is to make sure that our students know that they are capable of doing the work before them, that they will be prepared to take the higher level math and science courses in high school and graduate from high school successfully enrolling in college. And a lot of our students, especially when I went out into communities and talked to families, a lot of mothers were concerned about their daughters attending a STEM school under the fear that it may be more boys interested in science and math. But our girls are just as interested in science and math as our boys, and we want to promote them as well and make sure that they feel safe and comfortable and confident as they move forward in their lives. And so next we're going to have our district superintendent, Malia Cohen, to come up and share with us her joy and passion for Willie Brown Middle School and introduce the mayor.
Thank you. Great morning, everyone. It's good to see you all. Thank you for being here. There are many people that brought us to this point where we are here today. I first want to acknowledge the leadership of Superintendent Carranza. Thank you for your vision and your leadership. I know you didn't do it yourself, and I also want to recognize the school board members who have also helped the superintendent develop the vision and, more importantly, bring it to fruition. So Hydra and Siobhan and Sandy, thank you very much. And Emily, thank you very much. That's excitement out there because the future is right here in the library. The department heads that have also been a part of this, you heard from Carranza and Demetrius about the many city heads that are here. I want to just acknowledge Maria Sue has been really instrumental with heading up the Department of DCYF. Also, this building would be nothing if it were not for the men and women that work in labor, many of whom grew up in the neighborhood, many of whom still live here in the neighborhood, and who quite potentially may have a child that would go to school here. So this is truly a team project, and I think it's very apropos that we're here today on the last day of winter, and we are looking at spring, the first day tomorrow, and that is really almost a very poetic way to look at what's happening in the Bayview and the southeast part of San Francisco. We are on a cusp of springing forward and coming out through a winter and what some would consider a darkness. I really do predict and believe that one day this corridor is going to be the engine of San Francisco, where families are going to be able to remain in San Francisco, where businesses like high tech and biotech that are in the Dogpatch neighborhood will continue to grow, and that they will come and look for their future employees right here at this middle school. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I really would love to bring to you a man that really truly needs no introduction, not Mayor Brown, but Mayor Lee. Another mayor that needs no introduction. This is the man that is bridging the gap between technology and making the connection from the technology companies into the neighborhood, who's filling the philanthropic natures of our community and making sure that they're making systemic and institutional investments right here in our neighborhood. Ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Lee.
All right. Thank you for that introduction, Supervisor Cohen. Welcome all of you here as well. I'm not going to re-go over that, except there's a couple things I want to emphasize. And I was talking to Mayor Brown a few minutes ago, and I asked him, God, this feels so good to be able to open up a new school under a mayor's administration with the school district. I asked him, did you get a chance to do this? And he had to think. Originally, he thought maybe there wasn't, but then I remember you were responsible for helping open up the Tenderloin new school. And when you recognize how important that was to the Tenderloin neighborhood, you can realize this is similarly as important. Well, let me say this to the school board, to our superintendent, to our agencies, all of our elected officials, and particularly to Principal Hobson. I am excited at this time for our city to be able to have continued evolving conversations with virtually every aspect of our city's success, and to suggest to them that education is at the center of everything that we wish to do to be a world-class city is such an inviting conversation that even last night, sitting around the table with some 15 to 20 CEOs of companies and to talk about what we're doing here with our school district is an incredible picture that we're painting for our Sophias of the future, because I look at her and I know she's going to be successful. And whether it's my job or Malia's job or a CEO of a company, this school is going to make a difference. In fact, our school system is going to make a tremendous difference. And this is the opportunity. This is why I've been so gratified to have such a strong relationship with Superintendent Carranza, because with him and with the school board members and Hydra being my daily connection, we have that unique opportunity to talk about the future. And when I meet with the CEOs and companies, as I do on a weekly basis, we can talk about the mutual investment we have in each other. The companies are looking for talent. The school district is creating that talent for them. This is the unique connection that we have with our public education system. And this is why this campus is so important, because it is forward-looking. It is anticipating that. And as Principal Hobson has said, we are not just going to be a great learning center. We want to establish the creators of the future. And when you have that as the goal for our middle schools, you're talking about the most critical thinking that has to happen with the youngest challenged age of our school district, the middle grades. That's why I met with Mr. Benioff a couple of years ago and asked him to make the biggest education investment in our public school system that he could possibly do. And he's done that with our principals and all of our teachers. And so, Principal Hobson, you're in a line of middle school principals that are embraced by our city. Know that, because I know you'll treasure it, and that you will constantly have us visit every grade here on a periodic basis to see that our creators are creating kinds of things that we want in the future. That critical thinking is so important. STEAM and STEM is the future. The superintendent's 2025 vision is our future for a world-class city. And we know that now. That's why the investments are happening. That's why we've gone beyond Mr. Benioff and Salesforce Foundation. We've actually asked all 2,000 technology companies to circle all of our schools. And in doing so, they said, well, okay, if you invite us to do that, Mayor Lee, what are you going to do? Well, today's announcement is more than just the opening of the school and the anticipation of it. This Willie Brown Jr. middle grade school will also be now the 9th beacon center for the city and county of San Francisco. Now, what do I mean? Because I don't think we've opened the beacon center for 20 years. What do I mean by a beacon center? Well, 20 years ago, then Mayor Willie Brown visited New York, and he saw schools that were embraced by the city with supportive after-school programs, with instructional entities that existed well beyond the hours of the school, that brought talent to the school site at all hours to embrace it, whether it was for health support, more creation. These days, you're probably going to find CEOs and their assistant CEOs here to help with the Maker Center that's being created here, with all the after-school programs that make this a beacon. This is what we mean by a beacon center. Led by the investment of the city and county of San Francisco, we are pouring in over $4 million in each and all of the beacon centers combined in the city. Not each. That's where superintendent wants me to go. Each. Yeah, what's wrong with that? But it is our city investment that demonstrates to the private sector we're putting in our investment here. Our kids are our investment. Join us in making them your investment. Watch them grow, but do more than watch. Invest in them. And you're going to see the family and the parents and the community come alive, even more than we've seen in the past. So this is where we're going to make a difference for Bayview. This is a beacon center that will be a central place. Maria Sue's already lined up all the different city-funded agencies that will be here, being part of that beacon center, along with the city agencies. We're going to have a very heavy dose of philanthropic support. When Willie and I talk to some CEOs tonight, we're going to be in unison about this particular school, but we're also going to be constantly in unison about what we're doing with our school entire system, with the Board of Education, because the more we talk about us being the world-class education system that they have, the more inviting it is for the investors of our companies to want to have that talent grow right here. And this is the great conversation we're having now. This is why we are going to be at the center of attention when the U.S. Conference of Mayors is here in June. They'll want to know what's happening in this school in particular, but how this dream comes about as such an inviting investment for all of our CEOs in the city. We will make a difference in a very short future for all of our kids. That's why I want police officers' families to live in San Francisco, firefighters' families to live in San Francisco, the teachers to be able to afford more as we aggressively build more housing for them, and middle income folks to be here, because we want to grow all the talent and have it supported. Last night I was asked a question again, and I will continually be asked this question because I get an opportunity to answer it. What do you want? What do you really want out of our school system in San Francisco? And I want a school system that has embraced our community, and I want a city to embrace back that school system. And that means that you'll never have teachers reaching into their own pockets to buy things, that the companies will do so because they invest in our city. You have the talent that Sophia wants to have matched by those that already have it here physically engaging with the students. And you'll have parents that more than hope that they believe and they'll be here because that parental engagement in this school will be at the highest level than all the other schools because of what we're investing here. This is more than a promise. You're seeing the physical manifestations of, I think, one of the best schools that will produce, and it will reset the standards of all of our schools so that the entire school system joins us in our world-class standards for the future. This is what I believe is here, and I am so happy that it's got the name Willie L. Brown Jr. because when I was working for him, he demanded the best out of all of us. And we're always giving him the best because through that effort, we knew that we can challenge all of our other co-workers in the city to produce their best. And with that, I'd like to welcome former Mayor Willie Brown for a few words on his named school for the future, but now already here. And all we have to do is fill in the glass, and maybe we'll get some gold gilding here one of these days. Willie L. Brown Jr., Mayor Brown.
Mr. Mayor, Supervisor Cohen, elected members of the school board, and of course the superintendent, Demetrius, the families, in particular Sophia and her mom, and the families and the people who live in this neighborhood. You have no idea how proud I am at the moment, and how proud I will be this August when the first 200 walk through the door and take a look at what we have here and to see how far we have come. Mr. Mayor, it was, I don't know, 2005, I think, when then Superintendent Ackerman came up along with the school board of something called the Dream Schools, all in pursuit of trying to make it possible for the quality of education in San Francisco's public schools to be equal to education in any collection of schools anywhere in the country. And it was a pioneering effort by the school board and that superintendent. Severe limitations were imposed upon what they were about. There was absolutely zero money. And Mr. Mayor, there were almost no companies or CEOs that had any interest in public education to the degree that you've been able to drive that agenda among them in San Francisco. But be that as it may, the wonderful committed school board did its best, and Superintendent Ackerman did her best, and I was here in a facility that used to train cops to be cops, and it proved to be not productive for cops. Cops moved on to something better and left the facility, and the school board and the superintendent tried to make it into a school. It proved not to be a good match. And fortunately for all of us, the city and the school board and the people had the courage to shut it down and attempt to conceive of something far greater. I can remember, Mr. Superintendent, I don't think you were superintendent then. As a matter of fact, you were not quite yet ready to be superintendent, but you brought me out here for the first occasion, and it was in a room where the architects had what they had in mind. And believe me, what they had in mind is almost like yesterday compared to what we're looking at today. Because the effort was made, starting with the concepts that had been done by these gifted and talented and well-trained people. They invited Sophia's mother and all the other mothers, potentially. They invited the school board members. They invited people from every agency of city government. And my daughter Susan got the responsibility to show up practically for every meeting. And I don't know the total number of meetings, but I tell you, they went from the transformation of that concept to the reality that you have so eloquently described, Mr. Mayor, and to what we are standing in, to what we're looking at, and to the projections of things that will come this August when the first 200 students are admitted. An incredible journey, a journey that's been carefully cataloged. It's been carefully videoed. It's been carefully recorded. It's been carefully written about and will be written about because, Mr. Superintendent, I think henceforth in every future bond measure, that will be the book that the citizens of this city will be able to look at and see what is possible if they're willing to do what they've done with the most recent monies for the construction projects ultimately called schools. And they have the first one, Mr. Mayor. When you were right when you said, you asked me, did you get a chance to open a school? I told you, no, I don't think. And then I thought, and I thought, and I thought. Yeah, Mayor Lee is so blessed. Every good thing happens on his watch. I mean, you know, it's almost like the Lord was mad at Gavin. Not me. But really great things. And Mr. Mayor, this is one of the great things. And I look forward, Mr. Principal. You were recruited. No warrants were issued for you in Chicago. You came out to San Francisco long before this building was to be open, and you started the process of doing what you need to do to make sure that not only does the building reflect the dream that the board and your superintendent and the citizens had when they said, let's do this, but you invited the community to get to know you on a first name basis. I said to somebody the other day, I'm going out to the school. They said, you're going to Demetrius school? It is not Demetrius' school. I don't care what he's been telling you. I am just overjoyed, and I, on behalf of the entire Willie Brown clan, Susan and all of the other members, we're looking forward to the first day of school. And I can't imagine ever having as many people as you said that made application. I can only assume the concept that has been so appropriately described has caused the families like Sophia's and others to sign on. But when the physical reality of walking through these fabulous doors, and I agree, there ought to be some gold somewhere, maybe around my portrait. But I think that when they walk through that door, you're going to be inundated. There won't be 365 next time around. There will be multiples beyond that. And believe me, Mr. Mayor, I suspect that the desirability of this school at the middle school level will exceed the desirability of families trying to get into Lowell. And when that happens, it becomes a prototype, potentially, for the rest of the schools of this city, reflecting the commitment that you've made, Mr. Mayor, to the development for families in this city. And I am more than overjoyed that it carries the name my mother gave me. Thank you.
So how in the world does anyone ever follow Mayor Brown at the microphone? Mr. Mayor, thank you. We are so proud that this building will be befitting your legacy, sir. So thank you for being and honoring us here today. You know, there may be a lot of folks that drive over that bridge that don't call it the Willie Brown Bridge, but we know at least 200 kids next year that will be going to Willie Brown Middle School every day. And before I turn it back over to Principal Hobson, I want to recognize some very, very important people that are here that I failed to recognize earlier. But ladies and gentlemen, this does not happen without enlightened policymakers, people that are elected and have the courage to do the right thing for the right reasons. And I'm very, very proud to introduce to you today the members of our Board of Education that are here with us. Our president, Dr. Emily Morase, is here. We also have our Commissioner, Shimon Walton. Thank you for joining us. Our immediate past president of the board, Commissioner Sandra Feuer, and also Commissioner Hydra Mendoza McDonald. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And I also want to thank someone who never, ever wants to take any credit for anything. He likes to work behind the scenes. He doesn't even wear his hard hat when we go on the tour. But that's our Chief Facilities Officer, David Golden, who's been visionary in helping us with this project. So thank you, Mr. Golden. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Principal Hobson, and we'll go to the rest of our program.
Thank you all very much. Thank you, Supervisor Cohen, Superintendent Carranza, Mayor Lee, and Mayor Brown for coming out this morning to share such exciting news that we will be one of the expanding beacon sites in the fall of 2016 as we open up with our pioneering sixth graders. I also want to acknowledge our families, the Silver family, Rihanna Batiste and her son Gregory, Miss Walker Wellen, and Miss Christina Wellen, the mother of Walker. So I'm excited. I'm nervous at the same time because this is a really huge task. It's monumental. I think that the district has put a lot of love into this spot. I've been in situations where I've seen schools close and families have to relocate to other sites. but for the district to actually reinvest right here in the Bayview. It tells this community that this city cares about the citizens of it. This city's leaders care about the citizens in this community. So thank you all for being here and being present. Thank you all for this opportunity, and we can conclude. Have a great day. We just going to talk to them about the money.
SF Gov TV.